So I always say that an actual light bulb went off when I turned 50, and it got very dark, literally dark. Do you remember that about turning 50?
No, because I was on hormones. I had my IUD in until I was 53. So I was in the dark about anything being different. And then when I took my IUD out at 53, then I was like, for me, it was the opposite. It was a fucking blinding light of welcome to the rest of your life with the worst TV host ever.
Wait, I was today years old when I learned that an IUD is hormones?
Yes.
Wow.
IUDs can have hormones. You can have ones that don't have hormones and ones that do. Mine had hormones to stop me from getting pregnant, but also to stop me from realizing I was in fucking perimenopause and menopause or whatever the fuck.
Okay, well, welcome to an educational episode of Talk 50 to Me.
Talk 50 to me.
Let's do it again. Hi, Constance.
Hi, Heidi. I can't believe you didn't know that IUDs can have hormones in them.
I was not about to stick something in my vagina that was going to hurt me so that I could then follow it with a penis. I don't put things to live in my body. It sounds scary to me.
It is weird. It is weird, especially because the first time I put it in, it got embedded in my uterus and I had to get it cut out.
The things that we have to do, what do they do?
They can snip a cord.
Oh, and how many men go for that vasectomy?
I mean,
you're going to touch my dick? You're going to touch my balls? No, you can't. They have to stay intact. What if I become a ball supermodel?
I think you know what? Anyways, the fact that also men can get a vasectomy and then get it reversed is fucking wild.
So then they have to go through the people touching their penis and ice packs twice, and that's a hell no, right? They won't do it.
Yeah, we can't get shit
generalizing
reversed.
the they.
I guess we can get our tubes tied and then get them untied. I don't know. Anyways, this is all out of my pay zone.
Just stop having sex.
Well, or there's that. Well, also, but when you're in menopause, you can have sex without protection.
This is true.
What was the point of our conversation?
We started off by talking about 50s and how dark it was. And I think the cool thing that we're learning is that times are very different now for women coming into their 50s, that it's actually a bit more joyful, which is what we like, which is why we're here, which was why we wanted to start a podcast. And I think it's because, as you've said many times, because Gen X turned 50 and said, fuck no. And most of our favorite actresses turned 50 recently, Gen X, and said, fuck no.
Well, fuck no, we won't be invisible.
Correct.
Not just, it's because we've all come into this time saying, why was nobody talking about this time? And the realization that, sadly, women weren't given the permission to, and it isn't until the menopause movement that has happened over the last year that it's allowed women to realize every single woman will go through this and it becomes the next part of your life.
It's funny you say we weren't given permission to. So I got in sort of a fight with a female friend of mine recently because she really believes that we need to bring men into the conversation, which I do agree with a little bit, but I believe that women need to take the power first and then include men, because they're never going to give us the power. We need to take the power and then show them that we want to include them in our world, because they've had the power and have never included us in their world.
That's truth.
Yeah. So I think today's guest might be one of those powerful women ready to take the fucking power back from everybody.
Might be, already is.
Facts.
She catapulted into her 50s, directing her 7th movie. And in less than 2 years, her 50s are already examples of her not slowing down. She received an honorary Doctor of Arts degree from University of Pennsylvania. She continues to advocate for repro rights, now more than ever. She has 2 projects in post-production, 2 in pre-production, and 2 completed series, The Better Sister and the soon-to-premiere Miniature Wife, and a movie coming out. She scored another Emmy nomination this year for hosting Press Your Luck. And yes, we could list so much more, but we'd rather get to talking to her because after all, it's Elizabeth fucking Banks.
Woo!
Yes! Woohoo!
I'm exhausted.
Remember this? Were we raising
Let's
the
raise
roof?
the roof
Is that
for
what?
Elizabeth.
Yeah, we've kind of been doing that, and like we're doing like a dog pound and a bitch pound, and
Nice.
we're bringing it all
Yeah.
back.
We'll do it all for you.
This is the 6-7. That's the new one with the
What's
kids.
that?
6-7. That's already. It's already over.
It
Don't
looks
worry.
like
They're all
Wayne
over.
boobs.
Or balls.
Yeah, the
Balls.
point, that is kind of it. The point is they're all over. We don't know what the new thing is.
We don't care. We are the new. You're the new
We
thing.
don't care.
Yeah, we are the new thing. All right, so we love to start by asking you one word to describe your 50s.
One word only.
I mean, we'd be up for more than one.
Well, we'll start with, I guess we'll start with easy.
Wow.
Ooh, please.
Well, fuck
share
you.
more.
Quite frankly, that's amazing.
I feel like there's a sense of ease in this season of life that didn't totally come into existence for me until like pretty recently, like just the level of stress of like, do I know what I'm doing? Check. Sure. Yeah. Like work is a lot, work should be challenging, but those challenges in the grand scheme of things are easy. I think you get a lot of perspective going into midlife where you're like, oh, right. Like, what is life about? It doesn't have to be, we should make it easier, right? We should have more ease going into things. I just problem solve easier now. I feel like I can identify things that are actually problems, actually need attention, and things that don't. I'm much more clear and have more clarity about what is important to me, how to spend my time, just all of those things. So, like I know now it's like, yeah, you gotta eat more bananas than chocolate. You gotta like walk. You gotta get out of bed you gotta move your body every day. You gotta be able to get on the floor and then get up off of the floor. Like these are just things you're gonna need to take forward. And like, you just accept it and it's all a lot easier. I'm not fighting life.
Yeah. Does that have to do with, the saying we all have, which is you just start to give less fucks, or
Yes,
what to give a fuck about?
Totally. Yes. And like consequences become interesting because you're like, it's like, well, if I say that friend might not like me. And you're like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay. Like,
Yeah.
or like, well, if I do that, I might not get that other job. Well, I don't know. I want to do it. I'm just going to do it. I don't care. It really is like, there's not, I don't know. There's just I find I'm a lot easier with myself also, and a lot easier with other people. And I'm just like, if you have space for me and time for me, awesome. And if you don't, that's fine too. Everybody's busy.
I think there's a beautiful bravery that comes with actually knowing who you are and getting to know who you are and liking who you are. Yeah.
So you and I recently also talked about the moment, right? Like, when did you know shit was different?
I think it was, it is interesting. I don't know did I say I had a moment? I'm like, did I?
Can you remind me what it is?
Well, it might have changed.
Can you remind me what my moment was?
What your moment was? Well, you and I were talking. Yeah, we were talking about the difference of, when women stop having their period, and how some women see it as a loss, or some are so excited they want to throw a party. And I just felt you had such an interesting take on it that I had never thought about before. I don't know if it was your moment, because you might have had a different moment since then, right?
Yeah, but I truly have no idea what you're talking about.
I love it. It's great. I'm not going to pull it out of you.
How's that brain fog going?
The brain fog is real. The brain fog is so real. I will say that, I mean, not getting into perimenopause and then menopause. I mean, my biggest issue with that whole time period was I had a really hard time getting the care that I needed. And I was like, wait, I'm like a rich, famous white lady. Like, if I can't get the care that I need at this stage in my life, how is it going down for everybody else? And, when you really start to research and look into just like women's health and health outcomes, and nobody was interested. Like the establishment was so disinterested in this season of life for women. And I find that so fascinating. And it's not even like, I accept, I understand. Okay. But like, we have to change it now, right? Like, we're going to do something about it. Right.
Yeah.
And I've really also come to realize that my age is so interesting. And I know you guys feel this way too, which is that like women's rights came about when we were born, only in our lifetimes. And so when you think about everything that's happened in the last 50 odd years, in terms of like everything from Roe v. Wade, no fault divorce, banking, women being able to get bank accounts, birth control, women entering education and the job market and all of that, the whole working girl of it all. What you see is like, oh man, that's as old as me. That's it. It's only as old as me.
That's bananas.
So of course there's so much work to be done, for us, because nobody was doing it for us for 10,000 years of human history. And all of a sudden there's a bunch of women who came through a very short time period, a blink of an eye. And now we have economic power in a way that we never had before. We have political power in a way that we never had before. We have this, like, we're living longer. So we really are like, oh, I have a whole second life now. So what am I going to do with this next half that's not about getting married, having kids, establishing a career or a family life or whatever? It's literally just about me. Who am I? What do I want? And I feel like this is all so new in the culture, in the zeitgeist, in the world. And I think it's always important to remind people of that. Like you are connected to a line of women on whose shoulders you are standing all the time. And I find, especially in this moment when the pendulum is swinging, the other direction, partially as a reaction to, no doubt, women coming into their own in this powerful way. I just feel like I just like to say it out loud.
I like to remind people. I like to remind people that we weren't in the Constitution. We're
not. We're still not.
Yeah,
we're not in the Constitution.
Yeah. It's bananas. And we literally started talking today about how we have to take the power. And I wonder, do you get any kind of pushback in your industry from being so outspoken about what needs to happen for women, to women, by women?
Pushback is maybe strong. I've been discouraged over time by certain people just saying like, if you get too like outspoken about such and such, that like essentially like, listen, just get the job. Like, can you just like put on the hair and makeup and like go and just be like, yes, that sounds great, and not like care so much, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
the answer is no.
Of my fucking life. Nobody fucking cares.
Yeah.
Except us.
Like, maybe you don't need to give all your notes in the first meeting. Like, get the job first. You know what I mean? And I can't help myself. I'm like, I don't know.
By the way, it's why you are Elizabeth fucking Banks.
Yeah.
Because you are setting a fucking standard for women basically standing up for themselves and that they matter and that their voice matters and their stories matter and how they tell those stories matter. And this is a really funny thing, but I want to talk about it because it is specific to our industry and being told for so long that telling our age is taboo and nobody should put their real age on IMDb and fuck that noise. Like, you don't look 50. Why tell people you're 50? And now we are out here saying, I'm 55, I'm 58, I'm 52, because it's our job, right, to take the taboo off it. So you being basically the face of Gen X for this pneumococcal pneumonia vaccine made me so fucking happy. I've never been so excited about an ad campaign, especially for Pfizer, because it was like Elizabeth Banks, 51. And the ad was about this vaccine is now available for people over 50. So not only are you walking the walk, but you're now talking the talk. And you are like, hey, everybody, look what we've done. And how did that feel? Like when that campaign came to you, were you like, yes, absolutely 100%, call me on my, Yeah,
look, I mean, I joke all the time. I'm like, the closer you get to the AARP, the more opportunities open up to sell things to there's a lot of opportunity. It turns out if you can keep it tight at this age, you can get a lot of opportunity. I joke about this with friends all the time, Look, I think things need to feel authentic to me. I really believe in taking those opportunities that come along that really do feel authentic to me. I mean, I'm back. First of all, if you're in your 50s and you live in America and you went to school in America, you're freaking vaccinated, okay? Because we had like a 95% vaccination rate in this country until about 5 minutes ago. So I don't want to hear about you're all vaccinated. Everybody that's talking about not getting vaccinated is vaccinated, okay?
Facts.
They all got vaccines when they were babies. Like, who are you kidding?
Yep.
So this notion of vaccines not being safe, besides being scientifically nonsense, and not the recommendations of actual doctors, it's like this isn't some new thing I'm doing. Like, I've put these things in my body to protect my health my whole life. And as a reminder now, again, especially, I'm like, I don't have fucks to give. Like, guys, if there's an algorithm telling people that vaccines are dangerous and not telling people disease is dangerous and vaccines prevent disease, like, let me get in that algorithm because it actually might help people. And that is what I like doing. I like educating, helping, entertaining. That's what I want to be doing. So that all feels of a piece of who I am anyway, authentically. Like, this algorithm really, it's bumming me out, guys.
Yeah, we are in the upside down. But I am 65, and whenever I go to a doctor or get a flu shot, they're like, have you had the pneumonia flu shot? Because it is the number one killer for women as they age.
Yeah, for older people. Well, look, it's for me also, it was about my parents, right? My parents are of that age. You get pneumonia in your late 70s, early 80s, like you're done. That's it.
You're gone. Yep.
So, this just the rates are so bad for anybody who enters the hospital with pneumonia at that age. It's like the outcomes are not great. So it really was also, yes, protect myself. But I just felt like, I don't want to walk around. I knew so many people like in the last couple of years with walking pneumonia. Yeah. And just sort of, it's nasty. Like, I don't want it. And
I'm going to go get it. I'm going to go get it. I'm going to go get my vaccine because Elizabeth Banks told me to.
You said something really funny. You said you're keeping it tight. So can we talk about aging in the spotlight and the concept of youth culture and what you do or won't do or hate or love or?
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like because I'm in I've been in film and television, and I put that stuff into the zeitgeist early, right, in my 20s. When I think about what I'm competing with, you're always just competing with that younger version of yourself. Like everything is a camera now. Everything is an image. We're all over the place. We've been uploading photos of ourselves to Instagram for however many years now. So now when I think about like aging, let me just be clear. I'm never comparing myself to anyone else. I'm never like, oh, I want to look like Sabrina Carpenter or something. You know what I mean? Like, I had my time in my.
Yeah.
I'm good. Like, that is not what I'm trying to do. And I'm also somebody who always thinks that whatever you're doing, you're not tricking anybody into thinking that you're a lot younger than you are. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it goes back to the Tina Fey joke that she made on 30 Rock, which was, at a certain point, you look good for your age. And that's what I want to do. I just want to look good for my age. I don't want to pretend that I'm younger than I am or be trying. And I'm not tricking anybody. You know what I mean? Nobody thinks I'm 32. You know?
I think maybe we just need to start teaching people that that wrinkles and saggy necks and your boobs being in their final resting place are actually what you want. And if we start saying it enough now, by the time the next generation gets here, they'll be like, fuck, I can't wait till my tits sag.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, you can buy better bras because there's just a whole different life.
But I mean, like, bras are annoying too.
yeah, they are actually.
Let's just let it all fly.
Again, you just like, I'm blessed. You know what I mean? I know what my blessings are physically, right? Like I've got those forever perky little babies here hanging about, you know? There's like a slight lowering, but like they're not going to hit the floor anytime soon.
Again.
I don't have enough. There's nothing, there's nothing to drag down. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't know, this will go. Maybe I'll fix it and maybe I'll do it. I'm going to be again, easy with myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a lot of grace for myself. I don't know how I'm going to feel I've never been this old before.
Right.
It's your first time here too.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. But I do think I think that, and this might be very bold of me to say, but I think we are making a difference because we're just talking about it, right? I mean, everybody's trying to be transparent about, I had a facelift, I did this, I did that. I'm not trying to pretend that it's natural. You know, Jane Fonda talks about how she's really sad that she felt she needed to do that because she didn't think that she was enough the way she was aging. And that's a sad, you know, hearing her, it come from that it wasn't forced from the outside. It was the way she looked at herself, right? So I think we're changing the conversations just talking about it openly, period.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think that's an interesting concept. I've heard Jane talk about that a little bit too. I love her. She's a total idol of mine.
Same.
I will say, like, you know, the inner, though, is a reflection of the outer, right? So we are all a product of the situation that we're living in, which, as I say, is like very much about like image and looks and like sexuality and all of those things. What I find so fun is all of those worlds, like dance clubs and, you know, all this, like, I'm at an age where weirdly, like, you can still do that. I can go to Ibiza tomorrow and stay out till 7 o'clock in the morning in a fucking half top, boob out. My ass looks good. Like, dance with young guys, whatever. You know, like, I don't feel restricted from doing those things. It sounds exhausting,
right?
Like, I don't want to do it. I have zero FOMO for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we should book that trip now.
I know.
Did it, lived the life, you know? But I just feel like I don't feel like the culture right now is telling women my age, like, you can't have these things anymore. I feel like the culture's kind of like, it's kind of fun if an old lady shows up at the club. You know
I do think social media has changed that.
Rich friends
yeah, I agree.
I think social media has changed that a little bit by seeing like a lot of people like what I do on social media, you know, in their 60s and 70s and 50s, whatever, just saying, fuck it, this is me. I'm going to wear what I want. I'm going to dress how I want. I'm going to go, have my tit out in a club in Ibiza, if that's what it is. And the cool thing is Gen Z is like, yes, tell me more, show me more. I want to know that when I get there, this, and that's what's really changed. And that's, what's so cool about it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's what I mean. I don't feel restricted by my age in any way.
Yeah. Who do you look to for advice?
I mean, my girlfriends, all my fellow friends, you guys, like, anybody. I mean, Jane is someone for sure. Like, if you're in my industry, I mean, I got some of the best advice of my life from Jean Triplehorn, Laura Linney, Diane Lane.
Ooh.
Like,
can you give us one?
Yeah. Oh, Diane Lane told me long ago, she was like, my quote didn't move for 15 years. And she's Diane Lane.
Yeah.
And it was at a time when I was like watching my male peers like all like become, playing Spider-Mans and superheroes and making all this money, and me thinking like, God, what am I going to settle for in Hollywood? Like, am I allowed to ask about money? Like, can I make some money? I'm putting in all this time and effort too. Like, I go to sets the same, like, what does this look like, in terms of parity for women in the industry when how the numbers are so against you? And so I just really started asking people, like, what's going on? Are we going to get paid? How do we get paid? What's happening? Where do we get paid? And I think it's okay to want to make money when you've devoted yourself to a career and you are at the high end of it. You know what I mean? And she was really forthcoming about like then getting those Richard Gere movies and like finding that whole side of her life as an actress in those like sexy, thrillers that she did. And it was a good reminder, like, you don't have to make all your money when you're 22. Like there can be opportunities as you get older, but you do really feel like, okay, you're doing all your learning. I do want to get to my earning, And she really helped me sort of chart a path and also go like, oh, I don't want that. I know that I don't want that to happen to me. So how do I get interested in opportunities? I remember Julianne Moore talking about being the queen of indies. And she's like, yeah, but I can't pay my bills. Like, these are fun movies. But like, you have like women actresses, we deserve something for our
It's a job.
We deserve everything.
It's a job. It's the same job for all the sexes. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is your advice for the next generation of women?
In general, or?
I mean, about aging or life, whatever you want.
I feel like for, shaking off the negativity, I would say as soon as you can, as early and often as you can. So like all that negative self-talk, like whatever that looks like for you, get your strategies to dump it, whatever that strategy looks like for you. So I think it's different for everybody, so it's hard to say, but I would just say this, like, there's going to be so many critics in the world of you, who you are, what you want to be doing. Don't let yourself be one of those critics. Don't let yourself be like your number one detractor. You got to be your biggest cheerleader, and it's got to come from within. So if you're having any of that negative stuff, I'm not good enough, I don't belong here, oh, I'm going to say sorry all the time, I'm going to do, it's like, figure out whatever it is, those strategies for yourself. And some people have to go to therapy, and some people just need to go running, you know what I mean? And some people just need a morning mantra, and so it's different for everybody. But what I'll say is, like, do not let that spiral and take you down.
Don't be your own bully.
Yeah.
Don't be your own bully.
There's enough of those out there.
I'm going to end with a surprise question from our surprise question jar.
Which means we hold no responsibility for it, even though we're the ones that put them in.
Maybe not.
Or it could have been a ghostwriter. We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
What makes you cry? What makes you cry?
What makes me cry? So easy. Anybody being proud of anything.
Oh,
So I see, if I'm proud of my kid or my kid makes me proud, immediate tears. If my mom's proud of me, immediate tears. If my husband's proud of me, immediate tears. If I watch a movie and the end of the movie is someone going, I'm really proud of you. You did it. I'm like, immediate tears.
Okay, well, Elizabeth, we are so proud of you for all
We
the work
are
you're
so
doing for
proud.
women across
so
the board.
proud.
I mean, we're so proud of you.
So proud.
I can't even say it enough. I just want to keep saying how proud
I'm filled
you
with
make
pride.
Guys, you're gonna make me cry. You're gonna make me cry.
Oh
We
my
do
God.
love you, and we are proud of you because you're fucking badass in every single fucking thing you do. So
Yeah, thank you for all your advocacy for women and speaking up for women, and it's very much appreciated and noticed. And keep
Oh,
telling.
you guys, thank you. Well, you guys are killing it. Thanks for giving me this platform today. So fun.
Absolutely. Well, we love you and we thank you, and
And goodbye.
goodbye. We'll see you later.
All right. Well, I hope you sell a lot of plants out of the plant shop. All right. You make a little money on the ferns.
Thank you. They're on sale on our website for $9.99.
Between two ferns. Thank you so much.
Look, if you're gonna have merch, it might as well be those live plants.
It might as
All
well
right.
be a plant.
think
I mean,
she's on-
nature is good for you.
She's onto something.
All right.
That's right.
Blessings to all. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.
I just want to start off by saying I forgot to tell her how much I fucking loved Cocaine Bear.
Oh, she would have loved to hear that. She might have cried because you were so proud of her for making that movie.
It is the greatest, funniest fucking
so
movie.
fucking funny.
She's so inspiring, and I think it's so important what she says, talking about how like we're all standing on the shoulders of the women who came before us, and how we need to keep telling stories and fighting for things for the next generation of women. you know?
Yeah, and also not being a critic for yourself. There's enough critics out there. There's enough bullies out there that if we're also hard on ourselves and negative about our own self, it's like, what's the point? Like, we have to be our cheerleader. And that's what she said. And I just, when we have these women on our podcast that I'm just like constantly like nodding my head and nodding, because I'm like, yes, see, this is what makes me so excited. Like giving women this space to say like, hey, ladies, don't let that take 10 more years to figure out. Like, grab a hold of that now. I do feel like I lost the 3 years of my 50s that I wish I could get back, because what I've learned in just the 2 years after I took the IUD out and realized I was in menopause, I'm so...
You would have gotten there anyway.
Well, yes, but isn't it funny now that
you can't cheat wisdom, Constance.
I know you can't, but I would have had a couple more years to have even more of it to share.
Yeah, I really do. I've said it often, just don't be your own bully.
Yeah.
It's just a terrible way to go through life. Everybody's out there waiting to tear you down. Don't do it for them. Don't let other people define you ever.
I had an acting teacher very early in my life. I was probably 20 or something. And I was performing a monologue for a play. And we were in rehearsals. And he said to me, I have to stop you for a second before you finish this monologue. And I said, why? And he said, because you are enough. And I said, what? And he said, you're putting things on top of who you already are. I can see that you don't think you're enough. You will start working when you realize you are enough. And it was the first time anyone in my life like kind of pointed out that like I do a lot of this.
Tap dancing, yeah.
I do a lot of, the tap dancing.
And she hasn't stopped working since. I wanted to actually end with a quote that's so funny that I pulled this quote before we even had this whole conversation. It's from Third Eye Spiritual. Stop editing your personality. Say the thing. Wear the outfit. Be too much on purpose. Laugh too loud. Take up the space. Post the picture. Stop waiting for permission to exist. Your life isn't meant to fit into someone else's comfort. It's meant to be lived in full volume, unfiltered. How appropriate.
I love it.
And that's all the time we have for today. So
Yeah, thanks for
joining
listening.
us.
Thanks for being here. And as always, if you want more Talk 50 to Me, follow us on Instagram at Talk 50 to Me and subscribe to our email list to get Talk 50 to Me updates and announcements. Have a question? DM us on Instagram or email us at talk50tomepod@gmail.com. And remember to like and subscribe wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Sharing is caring. See you next Tuesday. Bye now.
Talk 50 to Me with Heidi Clements and Constance Zimmer is produced by Alex Beatty, recording engineer Aaliyah Walker, editing by Zelene Hassi, music by Matt Friedman, production services provided by A4S Podcast Studios, a Talk 50 to Me LLC production distributed by the Forward Network.